Welcome to this introductory Strata 3D class. Here we have already opened Strata Design in 3D and we are presented with a startup dialog. If we don't want it, we can close it by clicking here. This automatically shows this dialog. We can just do away with it, but it's a good thing to begin with. We have a list of our recent projects. Of course, if we're just starting with a program, there will be no recent projects in here. There are a series of templates which we shall see in due time. And we can also start an empty project. Here with Open Other, we can select older files. And we also have links to the very useful Strata 3D University support and frequently asked questions, the Strata community, Facebook, etc. We shall begin with a new empty project. There we are. That's an Untitled 2 project. We have the modeling window. I am missing my resources. There they are. So what we should have when opening a new project is something like this. This one is an empty project, and all that we see is a grid. This grid, we'll see soon that it helps us to model, and we can change it. But let's first see what we have aside from the grid. We have views. We have a front view, a back view, a left view. There's not much change, as you can see, but this trident, called the world trident, it points to the positive values of the x, y, and z axis, shows us that something's happening. Let's review it again. Front, there we can see the axis, the trident. Back, the trident is flipped. Left, right, see the trident again. Top, bottom, and finally isometric, which is the view in which we started. As you can see, we can access these using the keypad or just the number keys. 5, 7, 4, 6, 8, 9. It has a logic. If you see the keys on the keypad, then you will see the logic behind these shortcuts. I'm going to, here from the tools, I'm going to get a rounded cube and we'll drag with shift pressed, not to just start modeling in a hurry, but to have a look at the shaders I have when modeling. The simplest one is the point cloud, in which I just see points delimiting my object. The outline is a real simple way of showing the object. Wireframe is more detailed. Flat, now it has shading, so I have an idea where the light is coming from. I can see where the light comes from here in the Lights tab in the Environment palette. I can see where my light is coming from, and please notice that if I move my light, the shading changes if I'm using either flat or, well, hidden line also shows the lighting, and smooth. it also shows a shading that is showing me where the light comes from. The better the shading, the slower it can get, so you may want to be careful there. And those are the OpenGL shaders. We can also do toon shaders, which are supposed to give us a cartoonish appearance. Flat, gradient, average, bi-level, and tri-level. So we can have different ways of showing our objects. Let's get back to OpenGL, as it will be easier for us to see things. The keyboard shortcuts for these are A, S, D, F, H, G, which is a row of keys in the alphabetic keyboard. Then we have our perspective. We have three views here in the modeling window. The isometric, the orthographic, we can see the lens here at the top. So we have orthographic, normal, which is the preset, and we also have a wide-angle lens. Depending on the size of our scene, we will find easier to use one or the other. Orthographic looks really odd because it looks unnatural, but it doesn't have any perspective deformation, which we do have here. I am using the preset one, which is the normal 50mm lens, and the closer it's to the camera, the larger the object appears, and the farther it is, the smaller it appears. When I am using this wide angle, the effect is exaggerated. Here it looks larger, there it looks way smaller, and even though it's a cube, it gets distorted if I move it to the borders of my window. So, depending on what we need, we'll be using either orthographic, normal, and not as much, we'll be using the wide angle. Oh, I lost the cube. So I get back, move it to a decent place, and there I am. So these are the three first elements in my modeling window. Here I have this pencil that has to do with the update of my window. I can force a redraw of my window if things get stuck. Here I have the possibility of using a system of grids that's perpendicular to my view regardless of which is my view. And here is the world famous plus menu. This one is really important here in Strata 3D because it enables us to create new windows, new cameras, split our views, reset our views, control the display level of the objects, etc., etc. This one we'll be using constantly to get cameras mostly, but it's an important menu. So this is the first overview of the modeling window in a new project in Strata 3D. We'll be getting more in depth in this modeling window and how to control it in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this.